Alright, welcome back to another race. Tonight we are riding the Chop by AHDR, which is the Aussie Hump Day Ride group on Swift, one of the oldest groups. And tonight's race is in London. We're doing 5 laps of the Classic, which is a short circuit of approximately 5.5 kilometres in length. Overall, 34 kilometres. We're in the pens, and so tonight's format is a little bit different from a typical race. We've got 4 categories: A, B, C and D. A typically being the fastest, down to D. So in this format, what's going to happen is D will ride out first, and then after about 3 or 4 minutes we'll follow them in C, and then B, and then A. And so the challenge for each group is to stay ahead of the group behind you and try and catch the group in front of you. So overall, in C at the moment we've got 42 riders, and we're about 2 minutes away. Now I've done my typical warm-up. I've ridden for about 20 minutes with Candace Cadence, one of the pacing bots in Watopia. So a bit of a cruise around, a few sprints, and then enough time to join the race or rejoin the race here and get settled. This is typically a longer ride than I would feel like doing, I guess, but there weren't too many options tonight, so I'd much rather, in trying to get back into racing, I'd much rather try to keep the rides under 20 kilometres, especially in C. But we will see how we go. So each group will be wearing or sharing the same jersey. In this pen we've got the C group and B group. The C group is wearing the hot pink, the fluorescent pink, and the B group is wearing the blue, white and orange. Now mostly this is a flat course. A couple of little pinches, nothing too significant, but it's the distance and the speed that's going to be the challenge here. Lead in is about 5.5 kilometres, and that's the part we ride before the race actually starts. So it's a pretty significant length. Alright, 2 seconds, ramping the power up, and we're out. Lots of Aussies in this ride. Alright, just waiting for the group to form. Yeah, so it looks like, I don't know what, about 50-55 riders in the C group. I think overall there was a good 100 or 150 in the event, so a good showing. So this is the lead in, just riding through the streets of London. And like normal in these sorts of rides, I like to hang around the middle, especially if there's good numbers. Try to take advantage of the draft as much as possible. Keeping a close eye on my heart rate and trying to manage that as best I can. And you can see a few riders are already using their power-ups. We've got a featherweight, and we had the van up there before. I've missed out on my power-up, so I'll have to wait for the next gate or the next banner to get a power-up. Not trying to be on the front for too much. Lots of riders, everyone can take a turn. Feeling very generous. So we're about halfway through the lead-in before the race actually starts. Actually quite a long lead-in, relatively speaking. Most races have a couple of Ks. This one has almost, I think, 5.5. Just going along the banks of the Thames here. And one thing to notice down the bottom of the screen is a coloured histogram with a red line just above it. You'll sort of see that creep across to the right of the screen. So that coloured histogram is a visual representation of the power that I'm putting out. So it starts out sort of grey, very low power, then into the blue zone, green, yellow, and then red. And you can see here that as I'm putting more power out, my histogram's going further up into the red. And it just gives you a sense of what load I'm under, how I'm working. And I've got a couple of power-ups going on there. I still don't have any. 4%, just a little climb, it's nothing special. I think that's Nelson's column. You pass on the left there. Conscious about any gaps that might open up. Unlike other races, especially Zwift HQ races, there aren't any anti-sandbagging features in this race. So it's quite possible that you'll have A and B grade riders riding in the C group here, and there isn't much you can do about that. And we certainly are clicking along quite nicely at 42 k's an hour. Heart rate's tipping up into the 170 now. Again, I'll be watching that pretty closely. Alright, under the 1 kilometre arch to the start finish of the route. Back past Nelson's column. And we can see the start-finish line just up ahead there. Yeah, so pushing now, some people looking for good times on this sprint section. 51 k's an hour. And that's the lead-in done. And we're into our first lap. And now we're starting to pass some of the D grade riders. And I think we just saw the D group on the other side of the road coming back around, so we're not all that far behind them, and we're slowly passing some of the D grade riders that are dropping off the back. Now there's nothing stopping them from trying to hang on to our group, which is quite often the case. And they'll try and hang on for as long as they can, which is completely fine. If they can do it, good luck. We've got the van there, which is improves your drafting capabilities by about 20%. For a period of 20 seconds. I'm pretty sure that's Buckingham House on the right hand side there. Alright. Alright, still in the high 160s. Just trying to keep that under control. Stay in the middle of the group. Not too much in the front, but try and roll back a little bit of soft pedaling just to bring it back a smidge. We've got a couple more D-grade riders up here we're passing. They're in the green jerseys. With the green camo coloured jerseys. Almost hit that pole. Alright, there's another little climb just here, another little 4 or 5% I think, which is pretty uncomfortable when you're already sort of, when your heart rate's already up. I really didn't want to have to deal with these little climbs. And I can see that I still don't have a power up, even though we've passed another the start finish line before. So I could have really used one just about there. And we can see my power histogram at the bottom there is just creeping back into the red. I'm sitting on the back of the group here, so starting to find it a bit difficult. And so put a little power in, try and bridge that gap and get back into the main bunch. I'm really feeling it now. So much so that I've let go. I was a little bit disappointed about that. I didn't feel settled, and yeah, just wasn't in the right mindset, I think. So there's a couple other riders that have let go as well. And there's no way I'm getting back into that group. And so I settled in with these two guys, like Stockdale. So it's important, even if you get dropped, you know, in a race like this, don't just stop and give up. I mean, you might as well keep it going. Keep pushing a bit. So we're almost finished the first lap. Still 4 laps to go. Yeah, so we speed the footage up here a little bit. Alright, pass through there, and do I get a power up? No! Still no power ups. What's going on? So those comments on the right hand side are the other riders texting and chatting amongst themselves. I find it difficult to do that because I'm flat out just breathing, but certainly the other riders, if you're using your mobile phone and there's Lyft companion app, or you've got your laptop or your computer next to you, you can bash out some messages to the other riders, especially if you're coordinating and communicating. It's quite helpful. So I think at some point we see the B grade group on the left hand side. Might be further up. Here they go. Just past, just on the left hand side. So they're not too far behind us. And it's only a matter of time till they catch us. You see now my histogram down the bottom there is mostly blue with a little bit of green. So a little false flat there with 1 or 2%. And Stephen was just commenting to the C group there about not splitting, trying to stay together. As a group, you're faster in a group than you are in individual teams or by yourself, so sticking together is better. And we've got a couple of more D grade riders just up ahead here. So a little 5% climb. So we sort of form a little group here for a bit. Stockdale is still working with me here. And someone's just commenting how far away the B grade group and the D grade groups are. So we're about halfway into the race. A bit under half. Past Nelson's column. Yeah, so we can see that my speed there on the left hand side of the sprint section, the first lap was 2 seconds faster than my last lap. So my fastest was 13.87 seconds. But typically in these races I don't worry about the sprints. That's a match I don't need to burn. Yeah, so that was about almost 16 seconds for the sprint. And I finally got a power up. Yay! So on the screen what we can see is obviously me in the bottom left hand corner, but then we've got just above me you'll have the leaderboards for the different routes or the different sections. Oh, there we go. Here's the B group just passing us now. And so I thought I would just kick it up and try and hang with them for as long as I can. So you can see that little spike down the bottom right hand corner where it's red. And I want to just sort of, if I can, just hang in the middle towards the back. So definitely feeling the pain now. It's not pleasant at all. But hanging on hanging on regardless. And someone's commenting there saying the A group is about a minute behind this B group. And they've dropped me. So much for that. So yeah, on the left hand side we typically have the leaderboards for the various sprint sections or routes or segments. So you can sort of see your times there, your lap times and so forth. Above that, in the blue, we've got my power, which comes directly from the trainer that I'm riding, and my heart rate, which is from a chest strap that I have on. Just to the right of that is that little circle, which is where power-ups, when you get them, which are randomly assigned, will appear. Then I've got the little heads-up control panel at the top there, so I get to see my speed, which is 32 k's an hour. The distance that we've ridden so far, which in this case is 20.8 kilometers. We've climbed 85 meters, and at the moment we've spent about 31, almost 32 minutes riding. Beneath that is an orange progress bar. Oh, thanks, Sharon. Get it right on. Here's a progress bar, which indicates how much more. Oh, there we go. A grade's passing us. Wasn't even going to try and keep up with those guys. Not tonight. So they are screaming through. So we've got the progress bar, and the progress bar is a Swift thing that shows you where you are in terms of the levels in Swift that you've attained. So when you first start out in Swift, you start out with level 0, and then level 1, level 2, up to level 50. And once you get to level 50, that's it. There's no more levels after that. But with each level, you unlock a new bike, or some new kit, or glasses, or shoes, or something like that. Thanks, Bruce. So at the moment, I'm at level 32. You can see it on the left-hand side. And on the far right-hand side, in that blue bubble, is the number of drops of sweat. So the drops are the in-game currency that as you earn them, you can then spend them in the shop, and you can buy different wheels, other bikes, different gear, that type of thing. Now at the bottom of this, on the left hand side, we've got the lap number, so we're lap 4 out of 5. We've got the blue progress bar, which shows us how much distance is left in the, or how much distance we've covered, how much distance is left in the race. And in this case, we've got 10 kilometers left. On the top right hand corner, we've got our map that shows us where we are in the race, or the route we're riding, and other riders that are in the same race. M. Stewart, I think it's Mike Stewart's just passed me there. So I'll kick it up a little bit and catch him. He's not doing too badly, so I thought I'd hang in there and see how we go. And then we pass Gustafsson. And so he jumps in there too, hello. And we kind of form a little group here. We've got roughly about 1.5 laps to go. Then on the right hand side we've got the our positions. So at the moment I'm 30th out of 54. And it gives me a sense of who the other riders are, both around me or behind or in front. And so with each rider you get to see the group they're in, so C or B, the times that they are either ahead, 18 seconds or 25 seconds behind, their name, the power they're putting out. So we can see Mike Stewart there is putting out 3.5 watts per kilo, and he's ridden 25 kilometers so far. So I'm not sure how that's worked because mine's saying 25.3 kilometers, but anyway. So passing a couple of B grade riders that, and someone's mentioning that the B group has just hit the C group. So they've caught them with about a lap to go. So I've just used my featherweight power up, just another little climb there. Passing Nelson's column. So just trying to stick with Mike here, and he's doing a fantastic job on the front. Really, you know, just getting the work done. Alright, that's the 1 kilometer to the finish marker. Just gave Mike a ride on there. So a ride on is a bit like a thumbs up or a like. And other riders that are riding in Swift, not necessarily in this race, can give you ride-ons if they follow you or you follow them. And there's so those translucent blue thumbs that you see pop up and then disappear into our pockets at the back of our jerseys. Interestingly, the more ride-ons you get, it increases the number of drops you get just for a few seconds. So the more ride-ons, the more drops, the faster the bike you can get. So what's with the glowing bikes that we can see on the course? I'm riding one. The glowing bikes are Zwift concept bikes, referred to as the Tron bike. And so the Tron bike is something that you can only earn, you can't buy this bike, and you earn it by climbing 50,000 meters. Generally it takes between 6 months and a year to climb that many meters, but once you do, you unlock the Tron bike. Now typically the Tron bike is probably the 3rd or 4th fastest bike in Swift, but on average it's probably the best bike in terms of flats and climbing. So you can swap bikes for if you're doing a particular climb or a climbing race, and maybe get with a lighter bike. That can be a little bit helpful, but realistically sticking with the Tron bike, and you can see we're passing one just there who's got the pink one. Keeping the Tron bike is probably the best in terms of not having to worry about it. But for example, if you've reached, say, one of the mountains, like Alpe Swift or the Epic Com, you could, for example, change over to a time trial bike to the downhill, and you'll go a little bit faster than you would on the tron bike. Alright, so we've got, what's it? 1, 2, 3, 4 of us now. And we rejoin the action with 2 kilometers to go, so we're back into real time. So Kate just got dropped. And it's raining in London. What are the odds? We're just about to pick up Williams. So we've got Stewart, Ace, Williams, Gustafsson, McFarland and myself. I think that's 7. So we've got a nice little group going here now. And that's what I mean about, even if you get dropped from the main bunch, you end up having these little mini races anyway. So even if there's sort of 7 of you or 6 of you, it becomes your own little private race. And so there's still positions to pick up and tactics and strategy to think about. Alright, we've got 600 metres left. Now I'm starting to think about how this is going to play out. So we've got Stewart there. Gustafsson's just past me. We've got Ace up in the helmet. And we've got about 400 metres left. I've got my aero, which is going to make me a little bit faster, but only for 10 seconds. So it all depends on who starts using what. And I can see Stewart there has just used his aero power up, and he's used it far too soon. So I'm going to hang on the back of him and sort of, just use his aero a little bit too. Now I've got sprint in there and then it's on. Let's go. So put the power up, I've hit my aero boost. Gustafsson's just next to me and I hold him off. And there we go. So I think I've finished about 26 out of the C group, which, isn't too bad. So I'll give the other guys here a ride on each. Yeah, it's a solid effort, 51.5 minutes, an average of 2.7 watts per kilo. That's a solid effort. I'm not unhappy with it. Average of 166 beats per minute. So there you have it. We'll be looking for the next ride probably on Monday or Tuesday, and let's try and improve again. I'll catch you guys later. Thanks.